Solar flares arrive. Buildings collapse. Only a few will survive. The world as we know it will no longer be there. Water is gone. A new era has begun. Prepare yourself for the apocalypse. The apocalypse. The heat is scorching. Forests burned up. The sky colors red. Volcanoes erupt. The world as we know it will no longer be there. Water is gone. A new era has begun. Prepare yourself for the apocalypse. Prepare yourself for the apocalypse.
shattering, shattering a part of me, and I can take it. My heart is so hollow, the blood has an echo inside of my veins. My heart is so hollow, your voice is an arrow, making the pain. My heart is so hollow, hollow, hollow. My heart is so hollow, hollow, hollow.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dire Bear Venturing Company. I'm your DM, known as Captain Sack, aka Heath, aka the Dire Bear GM. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but I am. We are back with another edition of Foundations of Adalar. When last we left off, a very emotional thing happened, an impossible fight. People died. Some of them turned to piles of ash. But hope is there. That's the ticket I'm running on, by the way, for 2020 election. Uh, resurrections. I promise a resurrection for every household in America. No, we had lost some people to an impossible fight. They were requested to turn over some of the artifacts that they had, and they were a bit remiss to do so. Protected the relics, but at the cost of the lives of Yenfir and Gillet and Callista. And we'll get more into that in a minute. But welcome, everyone. Again, my name is Heath. I am the Dire Bear GM. And it is a fantastic Monday, so that means that we are playing Foundations of Adalar. We have with us, as always, the amazing and beautiful Maddie. We have the amazing and fantastic V. We have the he's just slightly better than me if you have him on the right microwave setting, Steve. And the just it's like I would say it's the before and after, but I don't know who was which.
Set phasers to grunge. I don't know.
Are you channeling like early '90s there?
I don't know what's going on with my hair right now, but yeah, let's say that.
Okay, I have to ask, Maddie, what are you drinking?
I'm sorry, you killed my character last week. I'm allowed to drink booze.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
But to answer the question, it is something called sourpuss.
Sourpuss.
All right.
Sounds interesting.
It's delicious
huge,
is what it is.
And never to be forgotten for all of their majesty every time we see them on camera. Chief is also with us. Right?
I
Where
love the
would we be
absolute look
without
of
Chief?
panic as soon as you started saying that on Chief's face. Just panic.
Let's pay some bills. Huge shout out to D&D Beyond, our sponsor for this evening and for the foreseeable future, for allowing us to use their fantastic tools. Speaking of, if you notice, if you will hover over the Twitch channel, at the bottom of the page, you'll see a little B, a little stylized looking letter B. If you hover over that B, on the right-hand side, lo and behold, you'll see a pop-out. Take a quick glance at that, and you'll see that it is Zine, Arneth, and I think Grimly is the other one. I can't really see. Gillet is there, but all of the characters are there. And if you go and click on one of the characters, you can also hover over the right-hand side of the Twitch channel, and you can click on it. Like, say, you click on Gillet there, and it'll pop out his character sheet that shows you his stats, his armor class, and everything. We can watch them all take damage or heal as it goes at any point in time. You can hover over that, and they will, if you guys keep up with this in D&D Beyond, that will update automatically. So if these guys are using D&D Beyond to keep track of their stats and things like that, you guys can see it as it happens. That's thanks to D&D Beyond and the Twitch extension that they have. Allows us to use these fantastic tools, and at any given time you can click on any character by hovering over to the right and just simply clicking on one of the characters to see what they are all about. With that being said, that is a new addition, and I love it, and it's fantastic, and I'm going to make sure that any campaign that we do, D&D or D&D Beyond hosting is, which should be any D&D campaign that we do, that will be there. We just simply change it out, so it's fantastic. If you are a Twitch streamer and you have D&D Beyond, I can't encourage you enough to get D&D Beyond if you don't have it. If you do have it, get the extension. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun to play with, and for your people to the size of that mug. Hold that thing up. Hold that mug up. I demand you hold that up, as it looks like it had a gun attached to it.
It does have a gun attached to it.
It's Boondock Saints!
It's the best mug in the world, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I wouldn't even dare, because it is a show that is near and dear to my heart, even if the director is kind of a tool bag. Anyways. So that is the new thing that we have there on our Twitch. We also are I don't want to give anything away, but our time in Kairos may be near to an end. Maybe not. I don't know. Because at some point in time, they may just go, you know what? Screw it. It's not worth it. Just all of them leave. Somebody else's problem now. However, I do encourage you guys to check out D&D Beyond. They have great tools for making characters, keeping track of your stats, and things like that. A lot of people who play here live with me on Sundays. Zine is flying away, but we'll get into that in a minute. But those of you who play live with me here on Sundays or on Friday nights, if you have your own character, they use D&D Beyond because it's easy to keep track of and easy to use, and you can print your sheets out. My son, who plays, actually has his character on D&D Beyond, and we print it out every time he levels up. So there we go. I think I've done enough corporate to get the buy on that one. If you'll look at our panels in the middle of the screen, you'll notice there is a donation page. Everybody, I don't have a coffee cup with me. I'm sorry, but if we could all raise our cups right now, and I'll imagine that I have one. You can now find us on Coffee. So hey, buy us a coffee. We would greatly appreciate it. All of the proceeds, donations, and the things you guys give away, they go towards helping us pay for licensing and to pay people back for their time and their money that they've spent. So we would appreciate anything and that you can give. So there you go. Our link is there. You can donate to us. Our PayPal is set up. So there we go. And I think that is enough for now. So we're going to go ahead and recap one more time. Zine, in order to pay for the expensive cost raising someone using a resurrection spell, Zine has flown off somewhere. A 10-day travel there and back again to hopefully return Callista to them. Callista is currently in repose as a mound of ash and memory, with Gillet forlornly there staying by her side. Yenfir went to see his mom and explain the situation, to which there was an emotional moment between the two of them where she basically asked him what the cost was. At what cost would it be to keep him there, to keep him safe, and to not have the chance of losing him or run the risk of losing him again? She hired him. Not really by much of a choice that he had, but kind of, she said, "You're working for me now." To that end, she presented him a letter to which he was told to return this to the priests that are overseeing the resurrection and the raising of those who are gone. So, Zine has flown somewhere. There is a letter that is being carried quasi-swiftly. Gillet, we know where you are. Keeping vigil. Arneth and Grimly, what are you two doing?
Well, I was taking care of Grimly. Getting him cleaned up. Attempting to find some clothes that actually fit him.
I lost 30 pounds in this whole situation. No.
You mean
No,
30
no,
pounds
no.
you didn't have to lose?
Weren't you just like 35 pounds?
Yeah. Listen, I'm baby now, actually. No. Yeah, last time it was Grimly was getting a bath and eating grapes. In the bath, I think.
Yeah, actually, that's right. You were, you guys are being tended to. Yenfir enters the temple looking bedraggled, doesn't say much, just walks over to the priest and hands him the letter. He breaks the seal on it, reads carefully, his face pinched as he does so. He looks up at Yenfir and says, "Is this all that she's asked of us?" He shrugs his shoulders and shaking his head, not sure. The priest nods. "We will see to her request. You are dismissed." He presses 5 copper into Yenfir's hand, curling his fingers around it. Gillet, you're sitting over there, and the same man that had performed the rituals on your fallen comrades, you included in Yenfir, approaches you once more. He looks at you and he offers. Are you sitting by the bear that she's on, or are you?
Yeah.
He offers you a hand. It's old and the fingers are twisted and gnarly, but it seems like he has enough strength in there. "Young man, I know that you wish to reside here, but we've matters to undertake, and we ask that you, for the moment, leave."
I understand. Is there anything I should do to make sure, or is there anything you can do to make sure she's undisturbed here, or is it just something that's par for the course for you folk?
While she is here within these walls, she will have the utmost respect and reverence, as is befitting a warrior of her caliber.
Thank you.
Of course.
And
Resign yourself to whatever comfortable home you have here.
solemnly get up and head towards the silken sash.
Okay. The streets are an ill reflection of your mood. The sky is bright, it's warm. You can see the lark dragons floating around and birds chirping and swimming through the air. But it does nothing for you, I'm sure. In that haze of unknowing, we just sort of find you stumbling back towards the silken sash, your body on autopilot, just moving of its own accord. As soon as you see the door, as always, is open, you make your way in. You hear Rose's voice saying something to you, but doesn't register. Someone guides you to the top floor where your room is. Arneth and Grimly, you see Gillet returning, and it's been, at this point in time, it's been 2 days? Yeah, been 2 days. He looks like he hasn't eaten in all that time. Maybe he's had something to drink. Any other description you'd like to give for yourself? Just bedraggled?
Pretty bedraggled. Definitely preoccupied. Has
kind of far away look.
Yeah, I walk around with a parchment meaning to write something, and just it either always ends up in the garbage or just unwritten.
Gillet, do you want to join me and Grimly in our room? You could just chill on the bed. I can go down and get you something to eat.
I suppose I do need food.
And rest.
Yeah. Thank you. And he'll just walk into the room and sit in the middle of the floor.
It just sits.
I will just like gently like lift him up under the arms.
Is it all dead weight? Just
No, he's willing to be guided, but he's just like a sort of strange puppet.
mm-hmm.
I'll take him over to the actual bed and set him down. Like, just stay there.
In light of the situation, now would be the perfect time for you to meditate. You've never been in a more better state to just veg out and go long term there.
Mm.
Okay.
And then I'll go downstairs and get him something to munch on.
All right. You are there and munching. As you find yourself just kind of there in that state, you guys are tending to it. Days pass. You are sort of, all of you are sort of on that numb autopilot. But I will ask if in that time, it's been about 6 days. Is there anything in that time frame that you would like to try to accomplish or do?
Gillet will have eventually drafted a letter and sent it through a courier to his family.
Excellent.
Arnef
It may not
would
be
have...
written well.
Smudges from the tears.
Arnef would have gone to Rose at some point to get hugs. His partner in not crime straight up died.
Sure. And she looks at all of you as her own children now. So, she takes this personal as well. And so she's with you there, finally finding time to grieve. She kind of sobs with you a little bit. And she is wearing the gift that Callista presented to her and seems to nigh take it off in memory of your fallen comrade. Dawning of the 7th day, the rain starts to fall. It's the first rainfall you've had. And at this time, I would like for all of you to fade out. Callista. Before you stands a figure that is both larger than life and mediocre at the same time. Her black fur rolls and it ripples in supple form, moving with the tawny muscles that are underneath. She is taut and lean. Her black tail swishes behind her. You've heard her name, but you're not really, never seen her. You're not familiar with her. The gods of this realm are a thing. She purrs, and you can feel the neutrality of death, but also the evil grip of an unwarranted demise that seems to just kind of flow from her. She crosses her arms and looks at you. And as she does so, she says with a commanding purr almost in her voice, "Look at what it has cost you. Do you really wish to go back? There is only one there. Truly mourns your demise."
If my sacrifice allowed him to get out, then yes, I want to go back.
But why? You are feared by most, reviled by some for your natural born abilities. This world harbors no ill will for you, and if you succeed, to what end? What does it grant you? You have saved the world but have died? Why is it your job to do such a thing?
It's not. But it
But,
doesn't matter what everybody thinks. The only person that matters is him. And he loves me for who I am.
but here your suffering has ended.
My
You
suffering prolongs as long as he's not with me.
would you have him be with you then?
And cut his life short? No. I would rather go back to him.
So
Amidst all the hate, all the derision, the vilification, all of it. It means nothing in the end because he loves me.
Love. I've loved once. Love is good, but the pain that follows with it makes you wonder if it is worth it all. If you truly wish to return, they are finishing soon. The path back will be open to you. Next time you see me, may not be so willing to release you. Do you understand?
I understand.
Fine, my child. Go. Go with my blessing, or perhaps curse. The divan that she's sitting on and the non existent palace that you can feel underneath your feet seems to fade, and you find a pathway. Behind you, a light shines, and you hear a voice chanting something. In front of you, a beautiful garden, fountains, and all manner of birds swim and flow through the air. Feathers that trail out behind them like lengths of cord. All manner of beasts that you've never seen before. And it's beautiful. Her voice plays around in your head. Well, the choice is yours, child. Which way do you wish to go?
It's not even a thought. She turns her back on the garden and walks towards the chanting.
Gillet.
Indeed.
Come back on camera, please. The morning of the seventh morning, or the dawn of the seventh morning, comes with rain, but also a knock on the doorframe of the silken sash. A courier dressed in plain garb holds a letter in his hand, dampened at the edges as though he tried to protect it as best he can, but the rain will always seep in. He hands it to you and bows, waits for a moment expectantly.
I'll give him 3 copper tip and take it. Thank
He
you.
nods. He nods, gives you a little 2-finger salute, and then jogs off into the rain, splashing as he goes. The letter is not sealed, but it is folded. And as you open it, you can see that it is a summon to return to the court at the temple. And it says, return with all haste.
He'll just drop the letter and go.
All right. You find yourself splashing through the rain, but you don't even pay attention to it. You're not sure what's going on, but I'm pretty sure that fear and trepidation are a mix, but maybe some hope.
Just a spark, at least.
Excellent. Grimly. You find yourself wandering through the kitchen area, trying to get something to nibble on, or at least maybe refill your pouch with.
Okay.
You don't hear anything that's said, but you see the exchange and you see the letter. And you watch as all of a sudden Gillett runs out of the building, splashing through the rain. The letter flutters to the ground. Actually, it doesn't really flutter because it's wet at the edges, so it kind of to the ground. What do you wish to do?
I'll go pick up the letter.
Okay.
I won't read it, but
But you have it.
I have it. I guess I'll probably either I'll bring it to Arneth.
Okay. Arneth.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
What's happening?
Will you be joining us on camera?
I will not, unfortunately, tonight,
Sorry.
but
Welcome back in fear. So that's okay. Arneth, you find yourself in the comforting company in fear. There is a... Are you just going to bust in the room, Grimly? Boom.
It's like you don't see anything in the doorway until you look down a little bit.
It's like the door... It's like looking over the foot of the bed. If you put the camera, you just see the door open, and then just like maybe the very edge of the red hair. And then it comes around the corner. You feel a tug on your leg.
Grimly, we've talked about knocking. We've talked about this.
it's a little rude, just saying.
I'm a delivery boy now.
I'm a delivery goblin.
Yeah. I found a letter. And Gillett ran off.
What?
I'll take the letter and read it over.
Yeah, you can see that it is a summons to have Gillett. They're requesting Gillett return to the court of the temple. Post haste. That's all it says. As
We
quickly as possible.
should get to the temple. Like,
Okay.
right now.
Just like as you are, donning some
As we are
clothes,
naked.
Yeah.
just dangling in the wind for all to see.
I mean, it is raining, but you know.
like the feel of the rain on my.
You know, that would be Arnett. That would be.
Social contracts are in place for a reason.
He's like, not in the forest.
I don't want to see the orc mini boss. Okay, I'm just saying.
Well, I do. I don't know about the rest.
Yeah, but you've been enjoying that mini boss, all morning.
Oh.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah, you
Full
started
stop. I did start.
it. Started it.
And by God, I'll stop it.
I'll finish it. All right.
Um,
well, I guess I'll put clothes on or whatever.
Donning your clothes and you skip out into the rain. You know where you're going, so you're not even trying to catch up to Gillett. You're just heading in that direction.
Grimly
Gillett.
on my shoulders.
When you arrive, there are 4 men of the cloth standing at the byre where Callista's remains were. You hear a low chanting, and you can see several items set out as though a ritual were being performed.
I'll be approaching slowly and carefully, peering over a shoulder if I can.
As you kind of approach and peer over his shoulder, a young man, an acolyte, comes to you and puts a hand gently on your arm, like on your elbow, to catch your attention. He says he just kind of makes that motion and then takes you over to a pew where you can sit and watch. A few minutes later, having to get dressed and proper, the rest of you arrive, a bit besodden from the rain. You see again as the acolyte that was standing there by the pew where you are goes over immediately. You see a young man dressed in plain, simple garb, an acolyte, comes over and holds his fingers up to keep you all quiet, and then motions you over to where Gillet is sitting. There is kind of a lull in the chanting, the words that are being cast. Seem to fill the huge space of this big stone building that is this temple. As you hear it raise to a crescendo, and then it falls slowly, one at a time, down into pianissimo. Anyways, they fall down to a quiet tone, and eventually they all stop chanting, with the exception of one of them. He says a few more words of rite, and then stops. There is not a fancy glow, there's not fanfare, there's not this divine energy or spark. There is simply the first drawn breath of someone. And as the four of them step back, there lies Callista, covered sparsely with a drape over her, in her tiefling form.
All Gillet manages to say is, alive?
Me, already in tears in the back.
Barely, but yeah.
Rushes up toward her. Just embrace time.
Her arms go around his neck, and it's just like she is not letting go for the next week and a half.
The priest who finished the rite approaches Yenfir and simply says to you, "It is done, as is her request. Let her know that we still expect our payment." He nods and turns and leads his the fellow priests out of the area. The acolyte staying behind only for a moment, offering you food and drink, if you so request or desire.
Cinnamon toast.
Cinnamon toast for all.
Cinnamon toast for everyone. Ash, Larry, we miss you, buddy. He kind of shakes his head like he's not sure exactly what you're asking for, but I we'll see if we got anything. He leaves, and the large cavernous area that marks this temple has only the five of you in here.
Arneth is also going in for a hug. He kind of just like hugs both Gillet and Callista since they're still together.
Callista
Like
gets
Gillet's just now noticing the rest of them are there.
Callista's gonna get like one arm free and just kind of put it up like over top of Arneth's head and just kind of hold him in close.
I will also approach for group hugs.
I'm going at the legs.
Cute.
Callista, there's one party member who is not
Where is Zine?
Well, he was going to get money to bring you back, but
We figured
he'll
that issue out.
he'll probably be back in a few days, hopefully.
Right. I don't know about you guys, but I'm done. I'm done. Why is it our job to save this world? Why does it have to be us? This entire situation is not our problem. Hand those relics off to the Sky Wardens and let them handle it. Everything we've gone up against in the last month and a half has been awful. I've nearly died once and did in fact die this time. When is it going to be enough? When we can't be brought back? How much longer are we going to toy with the gods and their rights to our souls when we've died?
You're making a lot of sense.
You're talking a lot of logic, lady. Listen, obviously I don't have all the answers, and I don't know, but since we're the ones that know about how perilous this future is, and it's less about me and more about the people who can't protect themselves. So, I understand if you don't want to stay. Or if you want no part of this any longer. I don't blame you. I almost quit as well. Dying is not fun. But I think after everything, to walk away now and pretend that it's going to get better is foolish.
What happened?
Some shit, Callista!
They told us to die, and we did.
Yeah.
What? Like
Yeah,
she's clinging as hard as she can to Gillet, and it's just
it was really
Oh yeah, you don't know about that.
Right.
No, because she was dead.
So,
Take it back. Don't say it.
okay.
yeah, they both died.
I think we should take this whole getting you up to speed a little slower than we have been. How about you just focus on yourself for now, and we'll fill you in when you're...
you died, and you still want to go through with this?
It was really traumatizing. I haven't slept in a week.
Yeah,
Actually, this is probably her next question is where is Grimly, because she can't see like Grimly through everybody else, and he doesn't quite reach the top of the briar.
No,
he's
you feel
just attached to my
around
legs
your
down
leg.
here.
Actually, I think Grimly's clutching. Aren't you clutching Callista's legs?
Yeah.
I'm not standing. I'm curious as to did you
Are
climb
you
up
like
on the
sitting?
altar?
You're sitting on the bier.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's still a leg if you're sitting over it. Never mind. I'll climb up. the
Bitch, do
altar.
you still have legs? Well, I'm on them.
Well, no. I was like, whose legs are you holding onto? I'm confused.
Okay, that's valid because I literally thought we were all standing and having a
Yeah,
good
actually.
No,
hug
she
time.
sat up and
DM's with you. I thought you were all standing as well, so.
she's like
You know what?
barely covered by something, so she's got like one hand holding the sheet to her chest while she's clinging to Gillet. I highly
Please,
doubt
like
she
we've never
stood.
seen a tit before.
Like you've never seen her tits because she did go in naked with you guys at
Grimly.
the friggin' bathing pool.
Grimly anime nosebleed. Pass out.
But she is she's gonna reach out a hand and just kind of ruffle Grimly's hair. Really, really glad that he is okay.
Listen,
You keep saying listen, Yinfir, and yet nothing you've said is inspiring any sort of confidence in me.
I've come too far to give up. We've gone through too much to stop now. I've gone through too much. If you want to stop, that's okay. You don't have to do this. You don't have to be here.
Arneth, neither do you.
I want to be here.
So you want to keep going up against people who can point their fingers at us and kill us with just a little bit of magic. With no way to stop them.
Oh, you put it like that.
he's like, actually, I kind of want to go home now.
Take all of it back.
I'm going back to Arwa.
Listen, there's always a way. There's always a way around anything. It's just we weren't prepared. And now we are.
Are we? Do we? I mean, I figure we should probably talk to, like, possibly everyone at the Acadium if we're going to be continuing this, as well as the Sky Wardens, and just have them all with us until we finish this thing, if that's what we're going to do.
You better be looking at Callista because you got to get her blessing, okay?
I'm not entirely convinced yet either.
You're like, "Listen, I'm totally okay not doing this. Fine.
I left the farm because I was bored, okay? This is not...
Not
I
bored
ain't
anymore.
bored anymore.
Bored left when they went die. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Callista's immediately gonna look around for her stuff.
Your beautiful dress that was made for you in Silverhaven, gone. Is no more.
She's not even looking for the dress, she's looking for her sketchbook. Which is also gone.
Which is gone. Gillet, you have everything that was magical, which would not have been destroyed. And one item that you weren't sure about, but apparently there was something that preserved it.
The power of love.
Power of true love.
Well, after noticing her looking around, he's just... So, I did manage to get a couple of your things. First, he hands the ring. Just open palm.
Immediately goes back on her finger.
Glad to see that actually made it. I do have your, were they paints? Was it just pigment?
Well, the marvelous pigments are jars of paint.
They are, okay. Then I will take those out of my bag and show them. These made it through.
Where is my sketchbook?
Seems to have become more dust than you.
It actually might be part of you now.
Just look around your body, have some sweet new tattoos.
Actually, would you be okay with that, Cap?
Actually, what I was thinking was like, There's like awesome drawing because part of the book was in your ashes.
Would you be okay if that was what happened?
Sure, it's an aesthetic thing. I like
Sure, why not? So she's got
sweet new ink.
she does like she can't see it. Some of it's on her back, some of it's on her upper arms, but she does. She's got two really nice, beautiful landscapes on her back, and then there's one that's on her upper thigh. That's actually one of the sketches of the party back when we had Lucky.
Love it.
Where's this scribble of Gillet? His face, but the top down is him like super muscular.
Where are the margin doodles? Where are the margin doodles?
That unfortunately didn't make it.
No NSFW stuff on her body there. Just a giant right here.
Massive.
Wang finger.
Little flip book in the corners.
My
The
board
pages are just now
it's
on her
like-
individual knuckles.
Yeah. Why does your knuckles say 28, 29, 30, 31? Funny story about that. All right. Back to our serious one.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're telling me is I have nothing. Besides the few magical items that survived, I have nothing.
You have your life.
You have us and Gillet.
Hi.
Like I said, I have nothing.
Yes, nothing, you fucking plebs.
You know,
Sorry.
the goddess of death. She's real.
Is she scary?
No. She just looked sad.
Big panther.
She was a giant panther. But she just looked sad. As if she didn't understand why I'd want to come back. And then she's gonna look at Gillet. There was only one reason to come back. This is home. Your
A
home.
little bit
Squeeze.
offended, but whatever. Fine, I understand. Now, are you two coming or going?
Well, since I've already gone, we need to figure out how to get me back to the Silken Sash without getting beat up by the local townsfolk who don't like tieflings.
Oh, it's fine.
Didn't the... I guess you would still have to reattune to it.
I have to reattune to the circlet.
Takes an hour.
Can't- We can just faff about for an hour. I mean, isn't that what we've been doing this entire campaign?
Faffing about with occasional combat.
True enough.
Sounds right.
Anyone
Or
for
we
some
could
cards or
just-
something?
Or we can just go.
Pinochle?
No one's gonna mess with you with Gillet and I around.
And me.
Sure.
Fuckers.
Sure.
That hurt my feelings. Sure.
Sure.
Wow.
So, are you going to attune or are you just going to leave?
Well, if they have it with them, then yes, I'd attune.
Okay.
I do.
But that's really dependent on whether or not they have it with them.
I'm carrying all your stuff in Lucky's old bag of holding. So
Duh, he's your
Excellent.
husband. Hello.
Random bag of mundanity. The bag of random mundanity? That sounds like an appropriate name.
I like
The
it.
bag of Dollar Tree items.
Because it didn't, yeah, it's like a grab bag of mundanity because it didn't have anything like truly magical in it. It was just that he collected so much shit over the course of time.
Mhm.
It just
You mean because he was literally a kleptomaniac?
because he was literally a kleptomaniac. But he just said, "Hey, look at that! What do you know? I actually have one of these things that we needed."
Why do you have 5,000 seashells in here? I don't know. Just,
They
found
were
them
pretty.
on the way.
Well, it was part of a
Alphabetical.
necklace, and then it just broke. It was part of a necklace, and it broke.
Ah.
I was thinking about restringing it at some point in time in life. I don't.
Mhm.
Little drawing to mom. What?
Not his handwriting.
No.
Of course it's not.
It's like, whose mom is this for? Wait, that's
You're
my
like-
handwriting.
Handwriting.
It looked important.
It was something Lucky had stolen from Rose
Mm-hmm.
way back when, and it's, whatever.
Baby
drawing.
in drawings.
Ryan, I know
Stole
you're
my
probably
French drawings.
Ryan. I know you're probably not watching, but we miss you, and we hope to have you back on soon.
Oh, hell yeah.
And if it makes you feel better, I sent a bunch of really awful people to the place where you're at so you can con them into doing more nasty shit.
Hell yeah.
I
Taking
did.
your seat for
That's remember when
Mhm.
like Kat thought I was gonna send them
Yes.
to the dragon, and then I sent them to Lucky.
Hilarious. Fucking hilarious.
All right, so
So then I guess if they're willing to wait for an hour, she's more than willing to sit there and attune to the circlet while
Party?
while they wait.
I'll just cuddle with Arneth.
Which is probably about the time that she finds out that she has these tattoos.
yeah, probably. As you look around, you're like, oh, it's new. Do I have some ink on my back? Yeah. What does it say? It says, dude. Yeah, you got one too.
What does mine say? Sweet.
Sweet.
Oh, God.
right.
I love that movie.
We're so old.
We are.
All right.
I don't want to talk about it.
Just always remind yourself, Steve, that I'm always going to be older than you. So there's that. All right. An hour passes. You attune to the circlet. Put it on your head. And change yourself into the pink-haired elven form with the dress. Or doing something different now.
Yeah, I was like, you gonna get a sexy new elf form?
No, it's goth now.
Mhm.
Pastel goth.
Mhm.
No, she still goes with the elf form, but it's just
Pale
it's
skin, but like dark
plain
black hair.
clothes. She's not.
Oh.
She's not
Mom
wearing the
clothes.
dress. She's basically wearing what she's wearing in the pog, which is just the basic burgundy tunic, a pair of pants, high boots. She's not trying to attract attention to herself.
Which will be fine for disguising yourself moving through there as long as no one gets...
But she
Too
sticks
close.
as close to Gillet as she can, because she doesn't have clothes on. Not actually.
As you are leaving, and I assume heading back towards the Silken Sash, okay, so Gillet and Callista are walking and very close together. What about the rest of you? Is anybody kind of like hanging back to the side? Are you all kind of walking like the monkeys down the street? Here we come. Arms interlocked. Here we come.
Yeah,
Walk
we're
down the
skippity
street.
doo dying
Snap
back
them
to the
forward.
Silken
High
Sash together.
kicking down the
Yeah.
street.
Strutting.
Off to
Just-
see the wizard.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, I'm holding Yinfir's hand with
Yes.
him wherever he is. Grimly can be there too.
Grimly's allowed to
if
be
Grimly
here.
wants.
Grimly might actually be hanging off to the side a little bit.
On his own.
On my watch.
Still in line of sight from Arneth. It's fine.
Okay.
He's a good boy. He knows better.
Like just out in front of him.
Just out in front of him, but off to the side.
Alright.
Yenfir,
I will allow it.
Yes.
as you are walking hand in hand with Arneth, happy to see your comrade returned.
Yes.
You feel a warm hand slip into yours.
Okay.
Your other hand, your free
I'm
hand.
like, another one?
So you have two. Arneth is on
I mean-
one. You feel a hand press into the other one intimately, like locking fingers.
I am immediately like, who the fuck?
You turn to see boots that come up to the knee and are folded over, supple leather, blue, like cobalt blue breeches tucked into them, a white shirt that is the collarless, like poet shirt, the one
Yeah.
with the great big sleeves, with a brocade vest buttoned up in a just a beautiful red color. Trimmed goatee with the wide mustache and the beautiful mustache curled and hair perfectly done like mine today.
Beautiful,
He
stunning, 10 out of 10.
smiles at you with that same smile that you've seen before, which usually means he's up to no good whatsoever.
Oh no.
And he goes, it's been far too long since we've seen one another.
Oh no.
You look amazing, by the way.
Thanks.
And he kind of like swings your hand in his and he looks over. Ah, hello, Arneth. It is always a pleasure to see you again. Who's your new friend? Pointing to the little one. Yes.
So where have you been?
Here and there, catching these sights, seeing the world before it is destroyed.
Yeah.
As one does.
Mm.
What have you been doing?
Oh,
You have a new friend, and he points once more to Gray.
This is none of your business.
First name Nunya.
I take great personal offense at this. Thought we were friends, after all. What is a joke between
That was your
friends?
first mistake.
You left, you were unharmed, nothing bad happened.
Unharmed.
You were unharmed?
Funny story about that. Quite a lot of us just finished being, dead. So, could have used you earlier. What do you want?
Why do you assume that I want anything? And I'm so sorry to hear about your recent brush with death, and I'm glad that you have overcome it. You seem fit and well.
Is the inferior still holding hands with him?
No, I immediately was like, back the fuck up, motherfucker!
Okay.
I'm just all the way against Arneth's shoulder.
You just climbed on top of his shoulders.
Hissing. Yeah, I'm not into whatever.
On his shoulders, hackles up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not after all I've been through. I'm not into his shenanigans right now. Okay.
We weren't into his shenanigans to begin with.
Okay, well that's true, but I'm even less into it now.
I personally was a little into it.
Of course you were.
I mean, Gillet was amused.
Okay.
I mean,
I would like for
I'll be fair.
an actual.
Callista was kind of amused as well, but
well, let's get actual rolls for the evening. I would like for Gillet and Callista to give me some rolls, please. Perception checks.
My favorite stat.
same.
As you are.
Wait.
Oh!
Hey.
Oh wow.
Hey.
Got his big boy eyes on tonight.
No, he's just on edge because he's got his wife back. Everything is a threat.
Everything is. He's just.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Eyes darting around everywhere.
It's just circling Callista. They're not holding hands. It's just running in circles around her. Just back off. Too close.
I'll kill you. Please, sir. I was just trying to sell you a couple of fish.
She's got the.
Don't mind him. His wife just died.
Who's that he's walking with then?
He's moved on rather quickly then.
Oh no, she's back now. He's just traumatized,
I am completely confused by this turn of events. I take my wares back. Gillet, you've noticed that your allies have kind of fallen behind where you are, and you hear a familiar voice Well, I should say, you hear a voice from the past from behind you. You turn to see your old friend, Ugdathar, standing there.
Oogie.
Oogie! I will only allow you all to call me that. The rest of him, I will put to death immediately. Ugh, Dathar. He sees you looking at him and he waves. I am so glad to hear that your wife has returned. I'm sorry to hear about your death. It was unfortunate, but good to see that you have gotten over the issue.
Yeah, we got better this time.
Well,
Kind of
thanks to
assume the whole
you.
situation is pretty much your fault, though.
Yes, 100% his
I
fault.
would like to understand how it is my fault. I wasn't even involved.
Hey, you got bored and left.
But
You're
that
right.
doesn't. That's not causation. That's more coincidence.
No.
You knew
No,
what
a
we
little
were
bit
up
further
against.
back. When you first got bored and left, the place where you were keeping all the... Yeah,
Dad,
yeah,
that's not
definitely
my
your
fault.
fault.
If I would say it is anybody's fault, it's just your friend Lucky's fault. Because he decided that he would take the deal.
He's not here. He can't defend himself.
How unfortunate for him. Like I care. Look.
What can we do for you?
The... nothing. It is more what I can do for you.
I don't like the sounds of that because the last time you said, "What more can we do for you?" Lucky wound up stuck in a fucking pit.
But to be fair, it is a very beautiful pit, full of gold and riches,
That he can't
gems
leave.
and stones.
Why didn't you
That is-
stay?
That is also slowly
so
sapping
beautiful.
his life force.
Because I was bored. Not okay, yes, it is sapping his life force slowly, but he will live for a long time.
Because you were bored. I guess Gillet can relate.
Mm-hmm.
See? I don't understand what that means. Can someone explain what?
It's an inside joke.
Certainly. I have, so I overheard the small conversation that you were having while you were at temple. I must
You're
say that
eavesdropping.
I merely happened to be in a place where some individuals that I know were coming to a moment of a moral decision, and it just so happened to pique my interest, so I thought that I would listen in. Yes, I was eavesdropping, so what? Listen. I'm fond of you all. Let's say. I know I am not the nicest person in the world, but have I truly, if you think of the core of it, have I really ever caused any of you any permanent harm? Not counting Lucky.
But we have to count Lucky. He was part of us.
You weren't even part of this when Lucky. Actually, you were. Sorry.
Yes, I was.
I was like, wait, sorry, yes, you were. It did.
I'm
Okay.
afraid of heights now because of you.
That was rather unfortunate. Yes.
Also, I don't think that was his fault. I think that.
Why should we trust you when you left us so easily the first time?
Because, despite everything that I am, I personally don't want to see this world destroyed. So I was rather hopeful and happy that you decided to possibly consider continuing the quest path that you were set upon. And I kind of got wind that you were possibly facing something that might be outside of your scope of particular support. So,
Oh.
Can you
You
turn all
thought
the
that,
opposition to
did you?
croissants or something?
That would be lovely.
That is entertaining. No, I cannot. The scope of my powers more exist inside of the mind as opposed to the transmutation side of things. I can make them all think that they are croissants for a period of time. But,
Butter
or,
than nothing.
or vegetables if you prefer. And you guys are still walking, and he's just kind of moving through the crowd. As you are very close to him, Yenfir, I'd like for you to give me a perception check as well, please.
I'm so not about him. Dislike. I unsubscribed.
I don't know why
blocked
you guys don't like Ugdathar. He's so much fun.
No, I as a
love him.
player love him.
Oh, Yenfir.
As character,
Yenfir,
not
just,
so much.
just hate it.
Yeah.
Yenfir thinks he's a
precisely.
piece of shit.
Did you want one from me?
Yes, and you are very close as well.
Oh my lord. Work with me here, sheet. Perception?
Do something, yeah. Perception check.
Oof.
Arneth.
The same.
Oh,
Wow.
they're made for each other.
He seems
Cellmate.
they're just absolutely meant for each other. He seems as polished and poised as he always is, his hand resting on his side. As he walks, he animates and gesticulates with one hand. You tell me more about the mission that, in particulars of it? I'm rusty with my words.
It may not be best to talk about it out in the open.
This is very true.
I suppose let's.
It's like this, and the rain that's kind of still falling, the drops kind of stop. You can see people are stopped in mid-movement,
Oh, great.
and you can see him. He kind of does this when he gets finished doing that. Quickly, it will not last forever. Tell me what you know. What is your mission? What are you here to do? What way so help you?
I will be right back.
I meant that kind of seriously. Quickly, if you could.
We have some
Need to
artifacts
use-
that are supposed to be able to defeat a giant evil.
Olmatek, yes.
Yeah.
Relics to defeat him?
Mm-hmm.
We should discuss this further then.
Yes, I would also like to get somewhere where I am not in the rain.
Snaps his fingers, and you can kind of see him exhale as he does so. The rain starts falling, everybody starts moving again, and he interlocks his arm with Yenfir and starts to start skipping forward. Come quickly.
Oh god.
And he gets like 4 steps and stops and goes, I should probably let you. I'm not sure where we are going.
Let's go.
Callista's going to hold her hand out for Grimly.
He'll go over and take it, just confused as to why all the people
I'll just
are
lead
slowed
people.
down.
And then she's just gonna reach down and pick him up and put him on her back.
So cute. I love 10 out of 10.
Just carrying the goblin everywhere.
Well, he's got
I'm an
25
adult.
movement speed.
Um,
He is slower than everybody else.
It's fair.
I'm just gonna lead everyone back to the sash because, like, that's that's the clubhouse. Okay, that's where you.
It is your base of operation. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
that's
really
really
is.
what it is.
Literally and figuratively, yes.
You approach the silken sash.
Sorry,
Right, did you want to say something? I apologize.
Yeah. Because Callista's not Yenfir, she can't just put, because Callista's not Arnett, she can't just put Grimly up on her shoulders. So she's giving him a piggyback instead. And she kind of
My base
just...
speed is 30.
Is it really? I thought it was 25. Okay, fair enough. Well, regardless, you're small, so
Goblin
they're doing it anyway. But she,
The
she,
Triggered.
This
she kind of, she just brings her head, like her hand up and just presses her cheek against Grimly's
No.
and
it's so
says,
sweet.
I'm glad you're okay.
I'm sorry he died. He's feeling really down about everybody dying and him not being able to do anything about it.
Well, it doesn't matter now. I'm back with people who care and love me. And it is not my time just yet.
All right. You find your way to the silken sash. The door, as always, seems, is open. Ugdathar stops outside of the silken sash and goes, "Is this a brothel?"
Sure is.
Today.
"I approve." And he strides right in.
Ugdathar, before you
Yeah?
enter,
Uh,
she's gonna walk up to him and just kind of pull him down by his collar, because he is much taller than she is.
yeah, okay.
You hurt anybody in this establishment and do any of that ridiculous hocus pocus you were doing back in Adalar, and I am going to gut you like a fish.
Oh, trust me. I don't think you'll need to. My mother will.
And then she's just gonna let him go, take Gillet's hand again, and walk in.
Was that inferred that your mother is a whore?
I'm gonna fucking reach over and literally slap him on the mouth.
You're the one that said my mother would take
Do
care
you
of
want
it.
to try that again?
Your mother was a former whore?
I'm gonna take him by the collar.
What is with
gonna,
you
like-
people in the collar? The starch, the shirt that needs to be taken care of.
I don't give a shit about the starch in your shirt.
Understood, yes. Mhm.
Shut your mouth. Okay? And have some respect.
Right. Will do.
Great. And
Your
I'll let him
mother is
go.
not a whore. Understood.
You don't talk about my mother. You don't look at my mother. You don't think about my mother.
I don't know
Got
which
it?
one your mother is.
You're going to.
Okay.
Great.
When I meet your mother, may I look at her that I can say hello in a proper manner? Or am I just forced to stare at the ceiling and say, hello, I would
I'll
love
think
to
about
shake
it.
your hand?
And I'm just going to shove him indoors.
As he stumbles into the room, he just kind of opens his arms up and says, ladies, hello, I am Ugdathar. I am here to love you all.
Wow.
I'm here to love you gently.
Or
Or
however
not.
you wish to have it.
Callista just looks over her shoulder at him, wraps her arms around Gillet, and just, oh god. Oh god.
I do
Why
have
did
other
we bring
questions
him here?
concerning the party and
Because this is safe.
and this establishment. Do you all work here?
I'm a child.
Sure do.
I'm a literal child. No, you are not, you lying bastard.
He's 5. He's
Yeah, in goblin years, that's like 85. Okay.
adult is 8 years old for goblins.
Oh.
Do you work here, including Grimly, who may be a courier, a busboy, or mop-up after the accident?
Can I throw mud at him? Do I have mud on
I
me?
grew up
You don't have any
here.
mud on you.
This is my home. Welcome.
You grew up here.
Mm-hmm.
That speaks volume to the character that you are.
Be very careful. Man, I'm so sad Jack's not on cam for this, because this would
He's
be
gonna die.
Yinfir is fucking livid. Like,
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 Jack's
I'm-
reactions to this, I want to see them so badly.
I'm
One
so
of the-
sorry.
One of the courtesans walks by. She's been there for a long time. You actually knew her from your youth. She's not old by any sense of the imagination, but she's has been around for a while. This must be your mother. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Clearly, not Rose.
No, you'll
No?
know when you see her, idiot.
This is not your mother. So, Ru, you me?
My God, I don't care if he's paying. At least he's paying.
I'd like to think that Arnath has his arms around Yinfir, like basically holding him back,
Just
but trying not
get
to
your
fall
arms
off.
locked around.
Hold my earrings. Okay.
Oh,
That sounds good.
I mean, Callista would just hold her hands out for
Coin.
Yenfir's jewelry to hold onto it for him so that he can go fight.
Thank
what,
you, I appreciate
you watch as Ugdathar pats his pockets carefully, and then goes, "Perhaps another time."
Hmm.
And then he goes and sits on the sofa that's there in the foyer.
What a
So
good
I
choice he made.
I was gone. Why is he here with us?
Isn't that
Same
always the
place,
question?
More because he won't leave. No.
He might.
We
Prove
need
helpful.
him, unfortunately.
I mean, basically, he's like a suave and cool version of Mr. Mitzelplex from DC Comics. He was the one that vexed Superman. The only way to get rid of him was saving his name backwards. Mitzelplen.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Steve, join with me here. The Justice Friends.
I wasn't a comic
Super
book kid.
Friends. Super Friends. He was in Super Friends too, back in like the old Superman. Jeez, I'm old. Anyways,
Sorry.
Sorry. Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
he was in a couple of episodes of the Justice.
Well, I'm going to take it upon myself to basically keep an eye on Ugdathar. That means I get to hang out with him.
Fantastic.
Yinfir, you should probably go tell your mom.
You're probably right. And then if something goes terribly wrong, then at least she'll be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I will,
I go
yeah,
plop down
approach.
next to Ugdathar.
He beams at you as you are this close. Give me another perception check, please.
Okay. Come on, baby.
Come on, you can do it.
17.
17. Normally, the first thing that strikes you remember is, if you recall, not only was he dressed finely, but he had a rapier at his side. A silver basketed rapier. He has no rapier. The refined, very cool and collected look that he always has, maybe not quite as cool and collected as it was. Seems like something is vexing him, troubling him, causing him some dismay. And even the spell that he did to stop everything outside, he quickly released it as soon as he could.
So, you're looking a little rough.
I take great offense at
worn
that.
Down.
I
A little old.
Oof.
beg your pardon. I am okay. Well, I am old technically, but
You're looking it.
I-
You look tired.
I'm fine. I'm perfectly fit.
Are you sure?
Of course,
Okay to talk.
a demigod such as myself. What challenges do I really have? I'm fine.
Well, I'm here if you want to chat. Vent.
I need no priest for confessions. I am fine. I am. I'm perfectly healthy.
Everyone needs somebody. Even if it's just for a second.
You know what? No, it's fine. I'm fine. Thank you for your concern, and I will keep that in mind. If ever I need someone to pour my heart out to, you will be somewhere in the upper ranges of the first position.
Callista would go find one of the girls to see if she could borrow a dress.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
they have it's a simple fare,
yeah.
but it's
So she basically gets clothes, gets dressed, and then comes back with the magic of the circlet not working because she has just let it fade. She's attuned to it, but I mean, she's when
just
it's
in her
just the
tiefling
party.
form.
When she's when she's with the party, it's gonna be tiefling form. And then she comes over, sits on Gillet's lap, and doesn't move.
The people in the silken sash don't seem to pay you any mind. They don't seem to make a big fuss about your form or anything else like that. They don't seem to make any regard to it at all. The Thar looks over at you and says, I don't know about your beloved, but I prefer this look. It's quite stunning. If I may be so bold as to say so myself.
Thanks.
You're welcome. See, not a bad guy.
I don't think we ever said you were. You just rarely want something for nothing.
This is true. I cannot deny that is the truth. Which brings me to why I sought you out.
Which
Although
brings you to the something I want in exchange for something else.
I promise you that you will get the better end of this.
Really?
Absolutely.
Color me skeptical after Lucky.
What color would that be?
Probably the same pink as my skin.
A lovely shade of pink, might I add. The horns, lovely. Swept back. It's a good look for you.
What do you want?
So the relics that you have in your possession that could stop Ulmatek from coming to fruition and keep him at the bay, if you will. I simply wish to have them.
You wish to have them.
I believe that I was quite clear in that request. Yes, I wish to take possession of them and lift the burden of responsibility from your shoulders. Put it on mine.
It was your responsibility to hold him back in the first place.
Technically, I was tricked into holding him in place.
It was still your responsibility.
It wasn't my responsibility. I was tricked. It was dubious circumstances which put me in the position that I was in.
And then it became your job.
Only by duress. If I were to press you into service, what do you call that?
Conscription.
Slavery. I was a slave. I was bound to that place. Against my will. Job or not, didn't want to be there. Your friend Lucky had the choice. I did not.
But now your actions have led you to regret leaving.
Not so much.
No. No. He wishes to have glory for himself. Because what is more glorious than the hero of the realm? And how would his voice and name never fade from history, except to be touted as the hero of the realm?
But you said it yourself. What cost has it been? Your own death? How many more times must we die?
So you were
Before it's
eavesdropping on
enough?
us in the church. in a
I-
sacred and holy place.
I admitted as
Eavesdropping
much.
on us. In a
I
church.
believe that I admitted as much.
You don't eavesdrop in a church. That's what devils do.
It's a building.
Please, did Ianfear say that?
Ianfear's not there.
I'm not there. That's what Jack said.
That's too bad, because Callista would just literally look at Ianfear and just gesture to the horns, like, what? But since he's not here.
Yes. The temple is just a building. It's the people who bring the faith there. Any right God would tell you, look, I simply mean and would like to help you out. You are, after all, you hold a special place in my heart. And I would hate to see anything untoward come to the rest of you.
So
I
What
you
will
would-
you
just
do with the relics?
I will simply keep Almatek at bay by using the relics to imprison him the way that they are supposed to be used.
As much as I like you, Adalar,
I like you too.
I can't believe you. I would like to, but I can't.
When have I ever? You know what? Don't have. For all that I am, for everything that I have done to you, I can do no more than apologize. It is the nature of what I am. Asking a scorpion not to sting you is akin to the same thing. We are going to do what our nature requests us to do.
Exactly.
Like, you will always do the right thing because that is who you are. I, like your friend has mentioned, will seek out glory, edification for my own needs.
Why not just help us deliver the relics?
And
You
I
can
could
be
not-
included in our merry little band.
because he
I-
doesn't want to share the glory. He is a
No.
selfish man.
Your words, they cut me to the quick. I don't like them.
The truth usually hurts.
I simply wish to mitigate the amount of danger that you could all find yourselves in simply by taking the responsibility of anchoring these points the way they should have been long ago, as opposed to summoning me against my will, might I add, once more,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping Ulmatek at bay. What is wrong with that? What does it matter who gets the glory? What is really important? The safety of the realm, of this entire world, or your honor and glory that you might seek, your fame and fortune?
What matters is that it's done.
Exactly! And I am offering to do it for you.
Cap, can I roll a perception check?
Insight, or if you're trying to read him.
Insight that, I guess.
Yeah. If you're trying to read him, yes,
Yeah,
it's an
okay.
insight check. He seems to be, despite everything that he is, telling you the truth that he wants to accomplish this. You get the idea that he's doing it for the very same reason that he's saying doesn't matter as long as it gets done.
Mm-hmm.
But
So, you plan on doing something with these relics,
yes,
and you're going
Oh.
to get there unarmed?
I have my magic. Did I not stop the rain and the people from moving?
You seem to be very adamant about resolving that quickly.
Well, of course, time is of the essence, of course, isn't it?
But if you
The
can
longer
freeze
way-
time, is that truly true?
My powers aren't limitless. They are not without their, bindings to them. I can stop time for a period of time, but I can't stop it forever. I'm not a god, only a demigod.
Your powers are waning.
I don't know why you think that is the case.
Because we've watched you do extraordinary things. More extraordinary than stopping the rain and stopping time.
I have no need for the parlor tricks of old. You all see through them. You know me too well.
Parlor tricks? You call summoning a boat with a captain out of nowhere parlor trick?
I put him back.
I
Was a good trick,
hope
though,
so.
was it not?
But was it truly a trick? Or was it you not knowing the limits of your magic and using it up too quickly? And let's not forget all of the townsfolk in Adalar that you had under your spell. That you had going, one could assume, for quite a while. You're talking to somebody who lives and breathes magic.
Funny enough that you should mention this. Has magic been treating you kindly lately? The sort of magic that you do. It's been a little wonky.
Well, it's certainly been a little off, but that's normal. Magic isn't without its risks.
Certainly, this is true. But you find yourselves being at the play of the weave more often than not, as opposed to previous occasions where the unpredictable was mostly predictable that it wouldn't occur. It seems that now it has become truly unpredictable. Is that not true?
The more I use it, the more it's always been unpredictable. This was just another
Give me
curve
an,
I was expecting.
give me
I'm
an
confused
arcana
whether you're
check.
trying to take
Sure.
credit for this.
Okay.
I mean, with her, it's literally been the more she used the magic, the more unpredictable her magic got. So
Well,
this was nothing new to her.
Wild magic taps into the magical weave, the energy that makes up all arcane magic, and attempts to bend it to the will that they have. And of course, it's going to come with its side effects. However, generally speaking, because of how the player has to roll, it's rare that something goes off unless they really toy with weave. But recently, the occurrences have become more frequent than what they were in the past, even casting higher level spells. And you actually, with that roll, Callista would know that the weave it's not that it's weakening, but that it's become more. Is the word tempestuous, I believe? It's more chaotic.
Okay.
It's pilling.
Yeah.
So, what you're telling me is you have something to do with this?
No, I am telling you that
If you want us
Gremlin,
to trust you with any sort
I'm
of relic, you need to start being honest with us.
I am going to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
Gremlin, you worship a god. Is that not true? Your magic is divine in nature. You say a prayer and you are gifted with ability. Is that correct? Most
Yeah.
gods, most of the gods work that way. They have a tap into the divine side of things. And then you simply say a prayer and there you are. The same holds true for the nature magic and things like that. However, arcane magic is completely different. I am a demigod, but I am not tied to the divine. I am tied to the arcane weave. My powers are not waning. They have become harder to control. I could stop time or I could decimate Lansport with the snap of my finger. The relics. This is all part of the coming of Ulmatek. The relics, I want them so that I can put a stop to it. Because, as much fun as it is to think about snapping my fingers and destroying all of Lansport, I don't want to do that. I want to have more control over what I have. Because I am a trickster at the heart. destroying people tends to lessen more to trickery and destruction, more to destruction. In all that I have done, have I truly ever killed anyone? No.
I'm actually trying to
Because,
think. I don't think he did. I think it
No.
was all
never
just.
he's
No, he
never
hasn't.
killed anyone.
Yeah, no, it was all just pranks.
If I kill them, who is there to tell the story? I want the relics to help set things right. I feel that I could do it faster than you could.
Then why don't you help us do it faster? There's so many of us, and we're being stopped left, right, and center. Why wouldn't try to stop you?
Because when I said that I like you all, I meant it. And I don't believe that the centuries and the eons that I will live, I could face the fact that I actually hurt one of you.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean I'm getting soft. Don't mind that. I will still pull a trick on you if I have to.
Aw, he's getting soft.
So I turn you into a frog temporarily to make sure that you understand that I'm not getting soft.
Arnath is like
To be
much
fair, I
resist
wasn't
your
gonna say
hug.
anything until you said that I'm not getting soft, so.
I say we do it.
I say we're not giving him the relics.
Mm-mm.
Then I will accompany you for a time.
I don't mind helping him, but in spite of your words and that you say you speak the truth, you are still very, very selfish.
That is fair.
So we will help.
Then
We will help, and I'll be honest, I would rather not try and upend this world's notion of what a tiefling is or is not. So you can have all the glory you want, but you will not be doing it alone.
I cannot travel the entirety with you. But I will do what I can to circumvent dangers from you.
Actually, there is something you might be able to do for us.
I will do my best.
There is a foursome of archmages in Lanceport.
What do you suggest that I do with them?
I don't know. Take them out. Insomuch as maybe they wind up at the bottom of the ocean.
It's
No one
They
needs
are
to know.
servants of Umatek.
Yes, they're gonna stand in our way.
yeah. And now I have a moral dilemma.
Do you truly have a moral dilemma when they're the ones who killed us?
Let us take a night to think on it. Allow me time to contemplate what I can do.
Of course. Even if all you do is lock them in an anti-magic room with no way to get out, that would also be acceptable.
That is funny.
Archmages who can't cast magic? Oh no. What a fucking tragedy.
Well then, I think that I should retire for the evening. Is there a discount on the services for those of you who set up operations here? I'll just ask myself, where is the beautiful mother of Yenfir? I can't imagine that.
Where is Yenfir?
Talking with Mama.
I think like we've been expecting you to come back with Rose, so like we've been talking to with her this entire time, expecting you to walk in the middle of the conversation with Rose.
Oh no.
I doubt he would come back willingly.
No, not with him around.
As you approach Mom's office, you because it's still like only middle of the day, I think. Yeah, it's probably late middle of the day.
Mhm.
She looks up at you and says, didn't fear. I take it that the letter was delivered without issue.
Mm,
And did they make good on their promise to me?
yes.
Is there any messages that they had to relay back?
I don't know, did they?
Yes.
They still expect payment.
They still expect payment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack wasn't here for that.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I was, but like not mentally.
No, you weren't here.
Well, they do still expect payment, of course. But
She takes out one of the ledgers and opens it. It's the one that has the code written in it. She nods her head up and down and says, "Of course they do. I wouldn't expect otherwise. Hopefully your friend Zine can help out." And she writes something in the ledger and closes it and locks it back and puts it back in the drawer.
sweet.
So, my darling boy, how can I help you?
Well, there's kind of a situation downstairs.
There's an a-hole on
Starting
the
There's an
get-
asshole that I need to get rid of.
I'm starting to really hate those words from you.
Well-
Sure, let's go meet this asshole that you've stumbled upon.
Yes, unfortunately we need him, so... Anyway, you'll see.
All right,
Downstairs.
well, then, away we go. And she pushes away from the desk and stands and goes downstairs with you. And as you reach the bottom of the staircase, we're going to take a quick break. So, everybody, there is a bunch of you here, and I would love for you all to continue to hang out with us. We are going to take about a 10-minute break as soon as the person who's actually controlling the stream comes back, since we can't really do anything without Maddie here. So, but we are going to take a quick break. Real quick announcement. Remember, D&D Beyond, guys. Go check them out. They're fantastic. I've had a lot of people ask, why should I get them? Because it is honestly one of the best subscriptions you'll have as far as like keeping track of everything. And since it's so portable, it works on your cell phone, works on your tablet, works on your laptop, anything you have.
And
Go
their
and check 'em
mobile
out.
site is actually half decent.
Yeah, their mobile site is actually really good. It's really easy to use. Export it to PDF on your phone, and then you can print it off anywhere you need to. And again, the SRD, the open source material, is enough to get you started and create a basic character. And they have a lot of options for races that aren't locked into the SRD. So you can actually make certain creatures or character races off of things that you wouldn't normally have access to. Also, don't forget, we now have coffee, or at least you can buy us a coffee. So if you would, please, we appreciate it. If you want to donate to us, but don't have money for a sub, or you've given your sub out for Twitch Prime to somebody else, we would love it if you go and drop us a coffee, and we would really appreciate that. Don't forget, we do have a Patreon. We will have another post coming up tomorrow. Right now, for our patrons, I will do world building posts. There's 2 a month guaranteed. I'll do them bi-weekly, so at least 2. And then if you are at particular levels, you get to watch the YouTube video where I talk about being a DM, and we kind of give a crash course for 30 minutes about just everything DMing wise, RPGs. And if you are at our top tier patron right now, you get 1 hour of my time, undivided attention, where I help you do anything that you need to be building a world, creating NPCs, explaining the rules, going over a new game system or anything else like that. Man, my hands look really old. Anything that you need, I will help you out, and you have my undivided attention for an hour's time. We will schedule that and go on from there. So visit our Patreon page. All of our links are in the panels there next to the chat. So go forth and click. And don't forget, we have a Discord server where you can chat with us all day long. We have Great people in there asking fantastic questions. So we are going to be back in like 10 minutes. So give us 10 minutes to refresh drinks, grab snacks, things like that. And then we'll be right back to figure out what Rose is going to think about Ogdethar as I play two characters. I'm trying not to overshadow players. So we'll be back in 10. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'll be dreaming. 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 I'll be dreaming.
We're gonna burn it down. Burn it down. We're gonna burn it down. Burn it down. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder. I killed it, it's murder.
I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker.
Show them. Change the station with a new shit. Show them. Change the station with a new shit.
it's murder. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker.
I killed it. I killed it. I killed it.
I killed it, it's murder.
Show them. Change the station with a new shit. Show them. Change the station with a new shit. Change the station. Change the station. Change the station with a new shit. With a new shit. Change the station. Change the station. Change the station with a new shit. With a new shit.
I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder, go crazy, berserker. I killed it, it's murder.
Go crazy, berserker.
I remember the feel of the air touch my skin. Am I real? 'Cause I felt something leave from within. I feel empty. Have I got nothing left to give? Am I living? 'Cause I only felt alive with him. I'm driving in the night, the hood down. It's when I feel alive, when no one's around. The darkness deep inside comes to light now. But it's alright, it's alright. I can break no heart if I got none. I won't break apart if I stay on the run. But sometimes in the night I miss the sun. Why did darkness come? I felt my body break, my heart give up. Why did darkness come? I felt the lightning shake me into hell. Why did darkness come? I wanna stay in here where I belong. Why did darkness come? Something keeps waking me up. Why did darkness come? Why did darkness come? I remember. Am I real? I feel empty. Have I got nothing left to give? Am I living? 'Cause I only felt alive with him. I'm driving in the night, the hood down. It's when I feel alive, when no one's around. The darkness deep inside comes to light now. But it's alright, it's alright. I can break no heart if I got none. I won't break apart if I stay on the run. But sometimes in the night I miss the sun. Why did darkness come? I felt my body break, my heart give up. Why did darkness come? I felt the lightning shake me into hell. Why did darkness come? I wanna stay in here where I belong. Why did darkness come? Something keeps waking me up. Nothing left to give. When we break apart, the darkness with him. Ooh,
breathe in the air, the light that surrounds me. If we hold ourselves together, we'll go far. Created a space, in my head it was empty, but I know that I want to be where you are. I was denied. I had spent those years, did not recognize the person that's inside. We have a purpose, but to take that leap, you must recognize the person that's inside.
Meet him. Show him who's boss.
Well, that was a strange thing to come back on to show who's boss. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for hanging out while we did some stuff. Once again, before we dive right in, we have to thank D&D Beyond, and I'm going to just say that because I did enough pushing beforehand. Also, Crafty Kiernanos, if you look over in our panels, there is things about getting stuff knit. Crafty Kiernanos will be doing a giveaway here on the channel. It is a Fire Dragon dice bag, Fire Dragon egg, a Red Dragon egg dice bag. It's scaled, and it'll have dice inside of it that are fire themed. So a red dice bag, handmade, one of a kind. Can't be another one of its kind because it's handmade. So we'll be giving that away next Monday, and I'll be posting pictures of it up and everything else like that so that we can actually have that. I think I was supposed to be doing it this Monday, but something came up, so we have to get. If it changes, I'll let you know, but I'll definitely get some pictures up of it here pretty soon. So, dice bag coming soon. Awesome. We left off with Rose coming down the steps with Yenfir.
Yes.
Approaching. All right. Tell me.
Arneth is he's holding Ugnathar's hands and just quietly begging him to just behave.
Don't say anything stupid.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up, please.
Whatever you do.
You have one job.
Yeah.
He
Good
comes
luck
down
with
the
it.
staircase, and he looks across, or she comes down the staircase. She looks across the way, and sees the gentleman dressed in nice clothing, and she carries herself with the poise that she always has of a professional, of a very regal person. She offers her hands. He stands. He takes her hands, bows, and kisses the back of her hand, and then releases her and says, "This is a very lovely establishment, and your son is an amazing individual. I would like to pay compliment to you for all that you have accomplished in your life."
I'm off to the side, glaring daggers at him over my mother's shoulder. Like, if you say one wrong thing, I will slit your goddamn throat.
I am sad to say that I come to you with hat in hand. I have no coin at this time with which to pay your services. But if there was any way that I might repay you, allowing me to stay in a room that you might have available, be very much obliged. and I will call it that I owe you a favor. She kind of narrows her eye for a moment.
God damn it, Steve. Die. Okay, who's to say he doesn't, though? Me that. Riddle me that.
But I mean, do you want it to
Anyways.
be Uglar's kid that's your half brother?
No, the answer is no.
There you
N-O.
He's a handsome guy. Why not? All right. She kind of narrows her eyes at him. I have no need for favor. You seem to be more papa than prince. So unless there is something that masks your true identity, or that you have some great wealth stored somewhere else and have proof of that great wealth, I must, like with many other, put you out. We are, after all, the business. He looks poleaxed, is the best way to describe it. um, well, then I guess that I will take my leave. I bid you all good evening. Perhaps we will see one another tomorrow.
Good night.
Tomorrow, then.
I'm sure that there is a tavern
I
that I can
will.
swindle out of drinks somewhere.
I really don't want him to leave and cause havoc, so I will pay for his room.
Your charity is. You are most generous, and I appreciate what you have done here. She calls one of the girls over after you have paid for a room, directs, her to take him upstairs. And she stops him for a second with a finger, just at the chest, just a light touch. That is for the room only. He bows his head. Of course, madam. Never. I don't think I trust you for your never or your. Have a good evening.
How much is his room?
For this level, it's 3 gold pieces for the night.
Okay.
He is led upstairs to one of the rooms that is available, and she turns and looks at Yenfir and says, I'm a pretty good read of character. And he is certainly character.
Tell me about it.
I don't know what it is about him, but I don't like him. The way he talks or something, it's like underneath your skin and it crawls.
Ugh, I know. Ugh. Ugh. Unfortunately, like I said, we need him. Trust me. If I didn't have to have him in here, I wouldn't.
Why? Who is he?
Funny story! So...
You remember Lucky?
yeah.
Fondly, yes. Where is he?
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah,
Lucky
About
took
that.
his place.
But what do you mean? Took his place?
Took his place. Holding an Ulmatek.
I feel like there's a lot of your life that I'm privy to.
I know a lot, but I don't know a lot about this.
yeah.
So
She pushes a hand to your chest, pats it gently. This is about the whole dying thing, isn't it?
It's tangentially related, yes.
It's keeping everybody else from doing that. Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Creepy and unsettling as he might be, will he help you not to die again?
Well, that's what he's promised.
Well, that's the idea. Yes.
We won't be comfortable, but yeah.
She kind of puts it like rubs one arm. She puts one arm across her chest and kind of rubs her arm up and down gently. She goes and shivers. Fine. Then I will. I won't say trust him, but I'll trust you all. You'll take great care around him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan.
I'm not rooming with him.
No, me neither. Mm-mm.
No,
I mean-
your rooms are of course upstairs. You don't room with him.
Gillet, we're never sharing
I
a
mean-
room with anybody ever again.
You
I
know,
wouldn't say that. There might be a nice kind of ribald, and we need the extra rooms, and you might have to share with Yenfir and Arnett.
Mhm. No.
I'm sorry.
Arnath looks a little hurt while looking at Callista. You wouldn't share a room with me?
Yeah, never mind Yinfir just being like, fuck no.
Callista's just gonna hold her left hand up and point to the wedding ring.
I don't know what
I
that
already
means.
share with Grimly half the time. Listen.
I think Yenfir's just upset that he's getting how is it that they term it in the industry? Oh right, cock blocked by a small little goblin.
I'm going to bed before I say something I regret. I'll leave.
Actually, the rest of you can retire. My employee has another job to do.
What?
You're a what it you, I'm sorry, can somebody else get me caught up on what the fuck is
Right
going
away.
on, please?
I don't even know about this.
You know,
No?
it's late. We'll talk later.
She
And it's
points
fine.
outside
It's
where
like-
the sun is still
like
out. It's like
midday.
afternoon.
Listen, it's late. You guys are probably all tired. We've had to do a lot lately, and I think
You hear that right there. That snap and point that she gives you, that you're very familiar with. I have another package for you to deliver, please.
Okay, yes, right away. Where?
Could
And
I help?
if you wish to escort him, that's up to you.
Oh, I don't want to make it a big thing. It's just a package.
You need to take this package to the Acadium, please.
Oh yes, we know what happened last time there was a package. People wound up getting kidnapped. I'm not even referring to Grimly this time. She just looks at Arnav. Because of the
Listen.
dwarf that we were supposed to escort.
Well, fine.
remember
Luckily for you, you don't have to.
You go spend some time with your husband, Callista.
Everybody's like, no, we're all going together.
No, we're all going. No.
Ugdathor's head pops around the corner. Are we going somewhere?
No.
Perhaps we are taking a trip, yes?
Absolutely not. Die, also.
I need to go to the Adventurers Guild and have my writ
Oh, yeah, you
reissued.
do.
Oh, rip.
I
That's
should
true.
laugh at that, but at the same time, it's like,
Hi.
actually, you would not.
Mm?
Are they
Those
magical?
are magical. They are
They
magical.
are magical, right? Oh, yeah. I just remembered Lucky.
Because
Right.
remember the seal on them.
Right.
Mhm.
Lucky forged one. They are magical. The seal is legit.
Well, then she needs to go to the guild hall to see if there's an easy quest that she can complete so she can start restocking her stuff.
Sure.
All right, well, I'm going to deliver this package, I guess. Who am I
and you're
delivering
taking
it
the
to?
package. She says, take it to the Acadium, first floor. Any of the learned brothers will be able to, or sisters will be able to take it.
Sure. I'll be back soon.
Callista's gonna walk up to Rose, give her a quick kiss on the cheek, and just give her a hug.
She embraces you, and it's like squeeze tight hug. I am so glad that I was able to get you back with us.
So it is you I have to thank. Because I know that Yinfir doesn't have that kind of coinage lying around.
She kind of puts a finger up. She goes, "You owe me nothing. Take care of one another as you always have."
Rose,
Hmm?
Please, there must be something. I can't bear to think that you put us up here for nothing. You feed us, you did so much for Gillet and I for the wedding, and now bringing me back from utter destruction. There must be something.
As I told my son, there are things that have greater value than coin. I simply leveraged one of those to expedite the agreement or to expedite the ritual. From there, well, these things have a way of sorting themselves out. Just do me a favor. Don't try to stay alive.
Don't get killed again, okay?
That's the intention.
Good. Now, there was a particular young man who's been waiting eagerly for your return. Go see to him.
Of course.
Okay. Grimly and Arneth. Yenfir is going to take a package to the Grand Acadium.
I'm going with him.
You're going with
It's
him,
happening.
Grimly.
I mean, I'm arguing the entire time.
I think for once, Grimly's gonna go to either a church or a temple that he can find.
Most of them would be in the. I mean, most of them are in the Temple District. There are a few here and there that you can find, but they're kind of smaller buildings that are.
It's okay. Something small where there's not a lot of big folk.
Are there any on the way to the Acadium?
For what really Grimly wants, the dock wards would be probably, and that's like the dock wards are. If this is the Silken Sash, the dock wards are west of where you are, and the Grand Acadium is east of where you are.
That's okay. They can go.
Would Grimly say where he's going?
Yes.
Are you sure you want to go by yourself, Grimly? Are you comfortable with that?
Be better prepared this time to not get kidnapped. Literally staring at nothing, just like. He's gonna stay mostly out of view of everyone that he can.
Just kind of quietly making his way through.
All right, be safe, little man.
Be safe, little dude.
All right. Then, lastly, or to recap, Callista and Gillet, what were you doing? No details. Where were you going?
Each other.
You're going to your room.
Doing stuff and things.
She's not gonna let go of him, but she is gonna mention that she needs to start getting her stuff back because she's got all these magical items, but she still needs the basics, which means they need to go get something from the guild hall. Something simple, even if it's just a simple delivery, a couple simple delivery missions. Just something to put some coin in her pocket so that she can start replacing things, like her sketchbook and her pencils to draw.
So you guys are heading to the Adventurers Guild in the market area?
Mm-hmm.
great. And that's where
I'll be trying to convince her to go for a hunt on the way there, but I don't know if that'll be feasible.
She promises that as soon as she gets she's restocked on all of her gear, they will go out for a hunt.
Except,
All right.
Because she takes a look at her feet, even though that they are booted according to the illusion. She's not a monk, and she wants a pair of boots.
Well, I mean,
but
you
it's
have
so
a pair of,
freeing.
like, you have a pair of
Slippers, but she wants
Ever-
boots.
yeah, like
She
slippers.
wants boots.
I have a question.
Far away.
Is Callista super soft now that she's been revived?
Like a baby.
She was always soft. I'm not sure I understand the question.
Even more soft, like
Like that
Gillet
fresh.
and Fear were they had penalties or whatever.
Oh, the penalties from Resurrection?
Yes.
Oh, you mean exhausted?
And
Yeah.
soft.
I guess
Soft
I
like
guess
a
I guess
baby.
Arnath would consider it soft.
Not all of us can be thick, okay?
Not all of us can be dummy
so,
thick.
kept trying to sneak past the guard. All right. So looking at True Resurrection, which is what was cast on you, it's 25,000 gold pieces. You touch a creature that has been dead for no longer than 200 years, which you qualify for that, and that died for any reason except for old age. You also qualify for that. Creature's soul is free and willing, which you were. The creature is restored to life with all of its hit points. Spell closes all wounds, neutralizes any poison, cures all disease, and it lifts any curses affecting the creature when it died. It replaces damaged or missing organs and limbs. If the creature was undead, it restores it to its non-undead form, so like vampire.
Yeah.
The spell can provide a new body if the original no longer exists, in which case you must speak the creature's name, which they've done. The creature then appears in an unoccupied space you choose within 10 feet of you. They chose to set you on fire, just so that way. There.
Mhm.
So there you go. You are not suffering from exhaustion. You have all of your HP. You are. If you had anything like scars or anything else like that,
It's gone. I just have brand new tattoos because some of that
because
dust was a
of
sketchbook.
pages. Yep, exactly. Because you are picture pages.
Excellent.
So there you go. All right, so
So
I'm gonna come back.
I am no softer than normal.
Okay.
Awesome. So you guys are on your way to the guild. Rain has stopped, but it still has that kind of like that gray, low-hanging clouds, like it might open up anytime soon. The marketplace is mostly clear because no one likes to hang out in the rain. Most of the marketplace where the awnings were be able to put out on carts and wagons, they're still there, but you can see that a lot of them have dispersed for the day. The Adventurers Guild is open, and as you enter in, you can see the job board does have like a couple of postings. The gentleman behind the counter pops around the corner and says, welcome to the Adventurers Guild. How can I be of service?
Where?
Can we?
Yes.
Looking for a job then?
Hmm.
Posting boards there. Sorry, it's slim pickings these days, but feel free to take anyone that you see fit. Anything else that we can trouble? Anything else that you might need?
Not sure how often you might get this question, but I died.
That's more of a statement than a question, but okay.
But in the process of being disintegrated, all of my stuff that wasn't magical was disintegrated along with it. Is there any way the guild can help me replace my non-magical items? It's a very strange question, given the circumstances.
But not that odd. Follow me. And he leads you to that room that you've seen behind every single one of their main counters. And as you walk around the corner, you can see that it is full of basic equipment. Not lots of suits of armor and things like that, but there are, a couple leather armors and things like that. With that in mind, the base starting equipment that a sorcerer would have, you can restore.
Okay.
All right. We'll come back to that. Go ahead and make sure that that's all fixed and as it need to be.
Mhm.
Arneth and Yenfir, the trip to the Grand Acadium is quiet. The marketplace is mostly empty, so pardon me. You make your way through without an issue. You arrive at the gates. They once again kind of look you over, explain to you that no magic should be cast within certain areas. The Grand Acadium is there to stand, and here are the rules that you have while you're in the fortress in the Grand Acadium, the temple zone, the temple area. You acquiesce, relinquishing any weapons to them that they mark and hand you the stub for, and then you make your way into the Acadium. You approach the Acadium itself on the first floor, where all of the shelves of books rise and form a shelf maze throughout this entirety of this bottom floor. You can see several of the learned ones, brothers and sisters alike, who are walking in their drab garb. You catch the attention of one of them and hand over the bundle. He takes the slip of paper that is in the top part of it, opens it up, looks at you, and beams, like his face just glows all of a sudden. He folds it up and holds a finger up for you to wait one moment, and then he rushes off somewhere with the package.
Okay.
About 20 minutes later, and you watch as a small gnome descends the large staircase that leads to the upper floors. He descends the staircase carrying a small satchel, like about that big. He hands it to you, and it clinks with metal. He thanks you for your service and says to tell Rose, tell Rose that we are forever in her debt for her generous donation, and also for making sure that the items that we were looking for were procured. With our compliments. And he again hands you the satchel, which clinks when you take it. It's not heavy, but it has some weight to it.
All right.
He nods and smiles, and he kind of like skips back towards the stairs. You can see the young man that you handed the package to immediately still standing there, holding the package, which the gnome takes from him, and then kind of like, and he starts up the staircase. Not all sure what that was about, but you guys start to make your way. Grimly. The docks, unlike the market where most of the people have cleared out, the dock seems to be coming back to life now that the rain has subsided. And you see several ship hands and sailors and things like that all making their way back towards the dock from different points of business. Some of them are trading companies. Others are like like a dockmaster's ward or a dockmaster's housing unit, but it's more like hire a sailor. There are different outfits that they part of, and you can hire a team, and you see some of them moving about and starting to load up. Looking up and down and throughout the dock ward, just kind of wandering on your own, maybe an hour on your own. You're traveling through, and nobody seems to pay any mind to you. But you see on the moving on the docks all manner of creature. There is not just human and Kamat and dwarf and elf, but there's also goblin and orc, and you see some kind of like blue green skinned, longer hair but pointed ears. You can see that their fingers are webbed, but they look human or elven otherwise. You see them moving throughout there. Um, Eventually, you find a small rundown building. One window is boarded up, the other one has glass in it, but you can see that it's broken at one corner. There is a simple symbol that's kind of familiar to your own that's hanging above the door, a bit askew, but it's still hanging above the door is not really a door so much as it's a piece of canvas that's hung over the opening. And it is currently pulled back and tacked up inside so you can easily make your.
Okay. Mhm.
As you make your way in, it is dark in there. As your eyes adjust from the dark outside, which was still gray light, to the dark inside where there's very few candles, your eyes blink a few times, squinting your eyes, and your dark vision kicks in. You get what's going on, and then you realize the dim light, and now you can see fully. Sitting in an old chair that looks like it might be foldable at one point in time with a piece of canvas stretched into it, like a beach chair almost. You see an old dwarf. His beard is long and white and has bits and flecks of stuff in the length of it. And it's just like down to his legs across his chest, which is unlike most dwarfs, which are barrel chested, these big. He seems almost like he's skinny, like he's super thin. His skin, it looks like old leather. It's tan and it's just raw looking. And he himself, there's not a single hair on his head. It's all just the beard. His eyes are the color of the sea, and they are just looking at you, pierce you.
Just like a small wave. Can't
He
tell if
doesn't. Mhm.
does he look blind?
Mm,
Is it that
mm,
type of
You
blue?
can't. No, you can't tell.
Okay.
It's not roomy or anything else.
Okay. Just
And
slight
he's
wave.
clearly like boop, focused on you as you walk in.
Hi. Just like
Hello.
just,
I don't get many travelers. What brings you in here?
um I just want to pray a little, if that's okay.
Of course. That's what we're here for, praying.
Mhm.
You look like you've got a heavy soul about you. Something troubling you?
A little. I'm just not used to. I saw friends die, and that's not a familiar thing for me.
He hauls himself out of the chair, and you can see it's bony knees. He's wearing like trousers, but like the traditional pirate, sailor trousers that kind of stop at the knee and they're a little tattered. You can tell that they're bound by a cord at his waist. No shirt whatsoever, but the beard is just like raw all the way down.
The
Uh,
beard is a shirt. It's okay.
he kind of like wipes his hand through it,
Well,
and you notice there's no pews, there's no seats.
Mm.
He walks over to one corner and takes another chair, and he unfolds it, and sets it down. Um, there's four posts in this main room that hold the ceiling up. There is a single stone plinth, and it has like the symbol, the holy symbol on the top of it.
there was a time I was on the sea. Now I'm not. And I've had my tail pulled from the ocean a time or two. I've lost friends to waves, disease, old age, and I've lost them to the sea. And it never gets easy. And you're gonna rack your brain, thinking, what could I have done differently? You're probably thinking it now. I bet you felt powerless, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you
If
want do you
go.
want the truth or do you want platitudes?
The truth.
You're certain?
Hmm.
He pats the chair and he sits back down in his own.
Grimly will go and sit.
He takes just beside him is a brown jug, about that big around, about that tall. And he takes a pull off of it and then offers it to you.
No, it's okay.
Suit yourself.
Takes another draw and sets it down.
The truth of the matter is you are powerless. But that's okay. You can't stop every raindrop from falling. You can't stop every hailstone. You can't stop the wind from blowing. Sometimes bad shit happens. You and I, we do our best to make sure that mitigate the bad shit that happens. But the truth is, we can't. You can't stop every rock in an avalanche, little one. But you can do your best to stop one of them. And at no point in time, regardless of how powerless you might feel, do you ever stop. Nothing wrong if you want to, but generally speaking, it's not who we are, is it?
No. May I stay here with you for a while?
Sure.
Mhm. And
And
Grimly will just sit with him, whether they talk or not.
he just sits there quietly. As you realize he's pulled the seat up not across from him but beside him.
Mhm.
And as you look out the open flap, you see that it goes right between the buildings and you can see the ocean and like little tide breaks on it, little wave breaks on the top of it. And you're not sure if it's where it's positioned or how it's set up, but you can hear the ocean. It's not loud, but there's that faint sound of tides breaking on, the tide break. The sound of water hitting sand and drawing back in. And he doesn't say anything. He just sits there and kind of stares out at the sea, and he just sits there. Arneth and Yenfir, you arrive back at the Silken Sash. Um, Rose is there downstairs talking with one of the young women. And as you walk in, she looks to you and holds her hand out. I believe you have something for me.
Yes. And I will hand over the bag.
Excellent. She takes the bag and opens it and pulls out 3 marks, so 30 gold, and hands it to you, and then seals the bag up and proceeds upstairs. Well done.
Thanks.
There's an alternative you could do for working with her. I'm just saying.
I mean, you're right. She would never let me do that.
She would never let you do that.
I would never
like,
let you
"Oh,
do that.
I
No.
was gonna say she would never let you do that. Not sake, but for Arneth's sake.
Yeah. He's like, no, it's not you. It's our dad.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to kill somebody.
I might have to stab a bitch. Gillet and Callista. There are exactly 3 jobs on the board. One of them is simply. One of them is like the rantings of a lunatic. Somebody, one of the farmers outside of town on the northern edge, believes that someone is stealing some of his crop in the middle of the night. They're not harvesting it, they're stealing some of it out of his hold, out of his granary. And he wants somebody to watch for the night. The job pays 2 marks, 20 gold. Urgent, please respond soon. The next one is asking for a stand-in for a duel, not to the death. A young noble has gotten himself into a bit of a predicament by showing off and saying that he would be more than capable of handling another young noble, and they have now had a contest of blows, and they are looking for someone to stand in because they are allowed to have one stand-in or champion, and he is requesting a stand-in.
Gillet's giggling at that one.
Is it
third
bad
one-
that I also thought, oh, this would be perfect for Gillet?
The third one is
I'd pity that noble.
What's the
probably
what's the payment for the noble one?
the noble one is 5 marks, so 50 gold. For those of you who are watching and may not have ever seen us do this, gold is heavy in and of its own. But they have what are called marks, and a mark is probably about that big, about that wide. You know, it's just kind of rounded at the ends. Each mark is worth 10 gold pieces. There are marks worth more, but they have a different look to them. But generally, whenever I say it's worth so many marks, just multiply that number by 10, and that's your gold. So the noble one pays 5 marks. The last one is probably the most interesting, but possibly could be the most demeaning. It simply says as the job title, "Make me smile." 10 marks for anyone that can bring a smile to my face.
Nani, fuck.
Report to the Northern Dock Wards, and it has an address on there in the Northern Dock Wards. And it simply says, "Make me smile. The choice is yours and how you do it. Earn my money by making me smile. The melancholy is too much." The name for the farmer is shit. Where did I put that note at? Hang on a second here. For DMs, and I'll give you this free tip. If you're using a job board like I do, make like 50 of them. Just simple stuff. And you just put a name, what the job is, and things like that. So that way you can always just kind of. All right. So the noble is Gildna. 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 The farmer is Lordnan. Lordnan. Lord. And the one that says "Make me smile" is Hester. Like the Scarlet A. Hester Prynne. Was that Scarlet A? Scarlet Letter? That's what I'm trying to say. Not
Not
Scarlet.
recalling.
Anyways, Hester is the name. Hester.
Okay.
So, those are the 3 jobs. And he did give you your standards so that you have that all back.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Well, the second one seems rather simple. And you not be able to beat up a hoity-toity noble?
It's gonna be harder to not kill him.
Oof. Okay.
Are you going to take all 3?
Oh, we can't take all 3. There's only 2 of us.
Can you not?
No, because you can only assign 1 per. It's the rules of the
Can you?
guild. It's the rules of the guild. It's how we've had to do this the entire time. As for making somebody smile, I could just start spellcasting and hope wild magic turns me
Turns you
into
into
a
a
potted
potted
plant.
Is it great that you and I both went?
Yeah, potted plant.
I like the one that for the next minute, everything you have to say, you shout. Like every time you speak, you shout. I posed that idea that if you agreed with your DM that you're going to make a sorcerer, but they were mute, couldn't speak, so you eschewed all verbal spell components. However you did it. But then you had that cast on you for 1 minute. Would you be going every time you spoke?
Oh my god.
So that's something to think about. Anyways.
Huh.
That's awesome. I like this.
All right. So which 2 jobs are you going to take? The noble one.
I'll take the standing in for the noble.
Okay.
I'm going to take the one make me smile.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm agreeing with Eric. I think we should give it to Zion.
Give the one to make him smile design, or the one.
No, I'm gonna take the make me
He
smile
just
one.
goes, I'm a dragon. They just start laughing. Right, whatever. And then he turns into one.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Does a nervous smile count as the smile they're looking for?
Honestly.
All right. You take those 2 jobs then?
Yeah.
All right. The braille is in all caps. Just constantly going like this. Okay. With jobs in hand, you head out. He signs off on them and hands you the official job posting. So as you know, it works. If it is a job where you can have someone sign off on it, they will sign off on it. If it is a task to complete, then the magic on the agreement will complete and let them know that you've job. Where do you want to go first? To the noble?
Oh yeah, because that's gonna be part fodder for make me smile.
All right. You arrive at the expected location. However, the time is a little different. You're a little early. But you meet the noble. He has blonde tresses that are curled in tiers all the way down to his shoulder. He is waifish, thin, and has a very androgynous look. Ah, thank you. I'm sure that I could best the fool, but I thought it may be prudent to have someone stand in for me. So, and he looks at Callista. No, you, the larger one, are you my champion?
I am.
Oh, that is excellent news. Okay, so we can make the arrangements to have them here shortly. Now, I'm certain they are wise enough people that they would have hired a champion of their own, or perhaps they have a house champion to stand in for themselves. So I do. You're okay with all of this arrangement?
Makes sense.
All
I
right.
mean, yeah, sure.
Arrangements are made, and it takes a about the place.
You're cutting out.
I said you see arrangements being made. It takes a few bit, but you see people couriering about, making deals and moving to and fro. As I realized I wasn't close enough to my microphone. And give me just a minute. All right.
Is it bad that I just had the nasty thought to render Gillet invisible? Just so the guy can't see him? In the middle of the fight?
Surprise.
Dick move. All right.
Or just shroud the area in darkness and use message to tell him where the guy was.
Oof. That's
No, your other left.
No, Gillet, your military left.
All right. A huge fanfare is made as you watch a procession of individuals march down the street, and you are all guided to the rear garden of the manor that you reported to, the noble that you're representing. There is a graveled area, a circle that is made, that is laid out for combat. And as you step onto the gravel, it is smooth pebbles. It's not so your feet don't hurt as you step on. Bother you really anyway. As you watch the circle of people grow around there, and eventually, stepping forward is a man in his 40s, a human. He is, however, dressed head to toe in plate. He has a great sword in his hands and sets it into gravel, sinking the blade in. He looks at you and bows his head. If you find day for combat, sir, make this to the death to the first one that surrenders, sir.
Surrender's good.
As you will, sir. And as you both prepare for combat, him squaring off, great sword, you see him move, even though the sword is huge. He moves with speed and grace. Not quite as graceful or speedy as you are. Grimly, how long do you want to stay with the...
Probably would have stayed a couple hours before heading
Okay.
back.
Yeah, it's
Or
been a few hours.
okay.
You can start to see the sun, which was already heading into the horizon, now starting to dip into the... you know that dark, full on dark will be soon as the clouds that had been hanging finally kind of break. Yenfir and Arneth, as you pass, are you heading up anywhere in particular or just upstairs?
I'm going to be waiting for Grimly to return. Like, try not to worry. Worrying a little.
I mean, he's been gone for a few hours.
Yeah, it's like quietly stressing out. Like, oh, I shouldn't have let him go alone. He's probably dead somewhere in a ditch. It's all my fault.
As you pivot in that spot at the end of your walk and start to walk back that row of carpet that you are wearing out underneath your feet, you finally watch as the door well, the door is always open, as a little goblin figure with orange hair.
Oh, thank God. Grimly, where have you been? It's been hours. Did you at least have a good time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like he's never really had anybody wait up for him, so he's like,
By this time, the sun is getting low in the sky. Across town, a nobleman's champion and a nobleman's monk square off. And as we get ready to fight, we're going to go ahead and.
Yeah.
I would like to congratulate the party on making it through their own deaths. First time around.
Thank you.
You are all now level 12.
Hmm.
Delicious.
And you're level 11. So you all go up one level, please.
I am multi-classing. I'm sick and tired of not having any fucking armor.
Yeah,
What are you
valid.
multi-classing into?
I don't know yet.
It didn't help me, Callista. It didn't help me.
I would like to thank Maddie and V and Steve and Chief and Jack for being there with me. I really appreciate you guys being here. And I'd like to thank everybody on the Twitch stream, which there's a lot of you as well. So really appreciate having you. Eric, I appreciate having you here, even though you're not with us physically. Especially want to thank Eric. Just know, without giving away too much, buddy, that you're always with us. We missed you tonight, but we understand, and we hope to see you back next week. Okay?
Mhm.
There's always a place for Zine. We always need our big blue lizard bastard back.
Honestly.
So without much further ado, I will say, tune in tomorrow night as we play Esper Genesis. But Jason and the crew from Nerd Eternal Network will be playing Esper Genesis, which is the 5e sci-fi companion. It's a compatible system that fits in with 5e so that you can use that. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back again with, is this the one I'm thinking of? This is Atlas's venture around Rovia.
Aethlin is going to be seeing live screen for the first time ever.
Yes.
Yeah. I will be playing a character as of yet to be determined.
I'm so excited. Oh my god.
I don't know what I want to be.
I'm crying.
We'll be looking at the end of May, beginning of June to start Curse of Strahd on Thursdays.
So, in just a few weeks, that'll be soon, but on Thursday nights, we'll be running, or again, I won't be. Maddie will be Curse of Strahd. She's Curse of Strahd live here on the channel. If you have ever wanted to sit and play with us, take any innuendo out of that, please. Wednesday night showcase night might be the night, but you gotta let us know. Join our Discord service. Join our Discord server. The old man brain is starting to shut down. Yeah.
I can hear the windows shutdown noise.
Go ahead, kids, get inside. Go ahead and join us on our Discord server, and we will make spots for you on Wednesday as we rotate games often. And exactly what Wednesday night's for. It's kind of a way for us to give to the community and have the community give to us. There will be some big announcements coming here in the near future, but I'm going to hold all those, but keep you all baited so that you'll keep turning so that you can hear the announcements. Don't forget that we'll be doing the dice bag giveaway. We are still doing our 75 average viewer push. So anybody that you can say, hey, look, I know you probably have Monday night doing something important, but it's not really that important. What's important is come watching these who look at the play game, because it's the most fun you can see, and we're really down to earth people. I am physically reachable right here at the restaurant or the cafe, and I'm here. So come by and see us. And Lucky Dice Cafe at 7914 or 7419 South Memorial Park West. Come by. We have great food. We have a lot of fun. And yes, Jason, I am a big old tease. Thank you. Jason is Captain Paragon in the Twitch chat for paying attention. He's the young fellow who runs the Esper Genesis game for us. So we appreciate him and his Nerd Eternal say that for some reason. Which, if you're looking for a really good podcast, just a show about all things nerdy. That is a fantastic show. You should go watch them. Any other announcements do we have? Anybody? Anime cons? I don't have one coming up until.
We've got Anime North in May, which V and I will be at. And actually, because we'll be streaming Curse of Strahd, my mom, and actually, I think all of our players from Curse of Strahd will be at Anime North.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because my
So-
Thursday group is actually a group of local cosplayers here in Toronto.
Except
Nice.
So,
Except for Jordy, because Jordy was like a last minute addition. No, sorry, we will be missing one person because Jack won't be coming to Anime North.
Yeah, I was waiting. Can't believe
But
this.
Jack will be there. Jack won't be playing Roland. We won't be having a reprise of Roland. We will be playing something new. So I look forward to
some other
seeing...
beautiful disaster.
Oh,
so I
yeah, I
look
have
forward
tons
to
of them.
seeing how I can torture Jack in Barovia once again.
No,
Yeah.
be nice.
No.
I appreciate it.
Mwah.
All right.
No,
well,
Jack,
with
I'm
that
not
in-
gonna be nice. It's literally written in Curse of Strahd. This is gonna suck.
I know.
Well, with that in mind, we want to thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate any viewership that we have. We appreciate any donations. It really means a lot to us. This is my career. This is what I want to do for a living. And you guys tuning in and watching it makes it all worthwhile for it. And so I really appreciate you guys. And with that being said, we love you. Take care, and we'll see you either Tuesday, Wednesday, or next Monday. Have a